Welcome back, everybody, to Joe's Bibles. This is Joe, and today I sort of have a review, but not really. What I'm doing in the next couple of videos, or in a series of videos, is I am in search of the perfect NASB 2020 preaching Bible for 2026. So, for those of you who don't know, the ESV has been my primary translation, and will probably continue to be like in my top two because I love that translation. But recently, starting in May of this year, I was drawn back to the NASB 2020 and just became really convinced that the NASB 2020 is going to be my preaching Bible moving forward. So what does that mean? Well, I'm looking for the perfect NASB 2020 preaching Bible for 2026, which I also want to use it for my everyday use, as well as for my devotionals. And so I want to do a number of videos just showcasing different NASB 2020s that could be potentially the Bible for 2026 that'll suit all of my needs for preaching, devotionals, etc., etc. The first candidate would be this one. This is the NASB large print ultra thin reference Bible from Lockman Foundation, and this is in the Prime edition. Now, I have reviewed this Bible before, but in the brown goatskin. The black goatskin is something that just feels softer. I really like it in the other Prime editions. And so I asked Lockman if they could send me the large print ultra thin reference in black goatskin, because the black goatskin to me just feels better. It looks better too. Just a personal preference thing. So let me walk you through the exterior and also the physical qualities of the Bible. So black goatskin, soft. And this is what I like about the black goatskin rather than the brown goatskin from Lockman, is that it's just softer. It's just floppier. So this black goatskin is floppy. I wish I had a brown goatskin to compare, but I've sold those or have given them away. So anyway, the black goatskin is really soft. It's pebbly also. So this looks like a stamped grain. On the sides, you can see that it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spine hubs. This is what the spine looks like. Here's the gilded edges right there, nice and gold and shiny, very pretty. You can see that the ribbons are still tucked in there. I just received this today, actually. Got the two ribbons untucked, black one and a red one. When you open the Bible, it is an edge-lined Bible. Looks like a leather liner. You can see the gilt line all around the edges there. It's going to frame this text block really well too. Look at that. You can see that there is red under gold art gilting. Very nice. Now let me walk you through the interior of the Bible. Here is the copyright page. It is the 2020 edition. This is printed in Korea. In the table of contents, what does this Bible contain? The books of the Bible in the beginning, the foreword, explanation of general format, the abbreviations and special markings. Then you have the Old Testament and then the New Testament. And then there's some added stuff in the back that I'll walk you through. Here is Genesis chapter 1, and you can see that this is the classic double column, center column reference with the footnotes at the bottom. And this is just so classic and so beautiful. The designer of this layout is 2K Denmark, and they have done a fantastic job for Lockman. Take a look at how bold the verse numbers are. This is another reason why this is up for contention, is that the verse numbers are really bold and they stand out. So if I'm preaching from this Bible, it's really easy to locate where I am. Here is the Psalms. And they break the lines up nicely. There's not a lot of widows. Here we are in Matthew chapter 5. Here we are. This is the Sermon on the Mount, all black letter. And another reason why this is such a good contender for a preaching Bible is because the verse numbers are bold, like I mentioned earlier, but also just the printing is nice and dark. Also, this has an 11-point typeface, which means very readable. Good font size, nice and bold, nice dark printing. Here we are in Revelation 22, and after Revelation 22, you get a list of topical index in the back. So instead of a concordance, you get a topical index, which I feel like is a much more practical list rather than a concordance, because these days you could just basically do it online. But this topical index is really, really practical and helpful, especially if you're going to do a devotional or a sermon based on a particular topic. So I love this. This is great. And then after the topical index, the introductions to the books of the Bible. Another really practical and helpful tool for those of us who preach. After the introductions to the books of the Bible, then you get the parables of Jesus, the miracles of Jesus, important events in Christ's life according to the gospel, or to the gospels, and then the Lockman maps. And you have 8 of these Lockman maps on glossy cardstock paper. You get a blank end sheet here, and then you get to the end of the Bible. Again, this feels like a leather liner. And here you have the ISBN. So you can see it says goatskin leather cover. Okay, I already shared some of the reasons why this is a good contender or a good possibility for 2026. The other thing about this is the size. So this is your typical 9x6 text block, but let me measure it with the leather cover. So with the leather cover, it's 10 inches by 7 inches. And this is what I love, and this is why it's called the ultra thin. The Bible is a little over 1¼ inches. So this is a really good thin line Bible. Not like 1 inch thin, but really close enough. The Bible that's probably close to this, that's in the NASB, is the Holman handcrafted large print thin line. And you can see that they're close in thinness or in width. The Holman still has the edge over the Lockman, still much thinner, but this is no slouch either. So I like the size, I like the font size, I like the bold printing. Here's the other thing that I really love about this particular edition. It's got all of the cross-references, the full suite of cross-references, and the full suite of footnotes. This has everything that I'll need for 2026 in terms of studying the scriptures. This is a great all-in-one study type Bible. Not a study Bible, but a type of Bible that you could use to do deep study in. The other thing that I really love about this Bible is the paper quality. So this is a 31 GSM printed on Korean paper. I don't know if it's Korean paper, but it's printed in Korea, and it's got that nice Bible paper that isn't blue. The previous NASB large print ultra thin reference that I have is the first one that came out in 2020, and this is the leather text edition, and this has that blue paper, and it's just, the opacity isn't bad, it's the blue tint. Ugh, I cannot stand it. But this paper is nice and creamy. It's even soft, and it's got a smoothness to it. I really love this. So this is really clear to read from and to be able to preach from. I think this works really well. All right, this definitely is a potential for 2026. If you haven't experienced a large print ultra thin from Lockman, try one. You don't have to get the goat skin. This is available in calf skin, which is a lower price, or in genuine leather, which is an even lower price, or in the leather text, which is an even lower price. But this is a great classic layout from Lockman. Well, that's it, everybody. Thank you for watching this video. And remember, read your Bible.